Thanks a lot for listening to this short video on how to generate a new variable. So the generation of new variable can be necessary when you are going to sometimes transform numerical variable into categorical. For example, you can separate age, which is a quantitative variable, into a qualitative variable by classifying age in different intervals. It's very important to know how to generate variable and also codify a categorical variable which have, for example, four modality into a variable that only have, for example, two modalities. Let us look at one of the variables in our database, which is age. Age is a quantitative variable that you can transform. So for a particular purpose, it will be necessary to transform, for example, a square of age. For example, in econometric modeling, it can be important to calculate square of age, for example, which in nonlinear model, for example. So how to generate, for example, the square of age. So you just go on transform, tap transform, click on transform, and then you click on compute variable. So when you click on compute variable, this tab will be open to you. So you can just put in the space reserved for target variable. So which variable are you going to calculate? You can maybe want to calculate age square. You can a small thing you need to know is that in the generation target variable, you should not put space between element of the name. So you should not begin the name with a figure. So SPSS will reject it. You can put underscore age square. For example, underscore can be a separator of age and square. You cannot put only a blank space between age and square. Here you select the variable age, which is here. Select the variable age, space reserved variable, and use this arrow to put it in space reserved numerical expression. You can use arithmetic function like square to transform the variable age. So you just use the function square sqrt. In parentheses, you put the name of the variable. So you can just select it from here and put it inside the parentheses. So then you click OK. So you can see that your variable age square has been generated. Another thing you can do is to categorize age into categories, into many intervals. I'm going to transform my age into three categories. Those who have less than 20-year-old, and the second category are those who are between 20 to 40-year-old, and the third category is those who are sample that are more than 40-year-old. So how to do it? You just go on transform, compute variable. My variable I'm going to create is age categories. Here I select what have been done first. So I select my variable age, put it here. So I use this logic symbol, select the logic. I'm going to put my categories here. So the first category 1, which is numerical. Age category is going to take a value 1 if. So I use the optional case selection condition here. So you click on if. My variable age is going to be equal to 1 if the condition. So I select include if case satisfy condition. I'm going to select my age variable now, put it using this arrow in this space, and say that use the logic symbol to say that my age is going to be less or equal to 20-year-old. So that's my first categories that I'm going to have. So then I click on continue, and you can see that click on OK. First category of my variable age categories has been created. So I then click on transform, compute variable age category. The second value is 2, and the age is going to be more than 20-year-old. Superior symbol 20-year-old, and the second condition is that I use a logic symbol and age is going to be less than 40-year-old, less or equal to 40-year-old. This is my second category, which is a category in which age is between 20 to 40-year-old. When I have written this logic condition, I then click on continue and then click on OK. And OK, the second category has been created. So I can just click on transform compute variable to create the third category, which is my variable age category is going to be 3 if age is more than 40-year-old. So I click on continue, OK, and then confirm the change of existing variable. So my variable age category, if you come back in SPSS variable view data, so we can notice that my variable age category has been successfully created. So I can then go on analysis, descriptive statistic, frequency, and select my variable age category, put it into variable, and then click on OK. So that you can see that my variable age category has been created with two modality: 1 if less or equal to 20-year-old, 2 if age is between 20 and 40-year-old, and so on. So you can see that variable has been created, and I can come back on my SPSS and recodify my variable age category here. So I can read a label. So I can label as the same name that I have given to the variable. So just copy the name of my variable and paste in a column required for label. So So I can do the same for the previous variable I have created for age square. So how to codify my variable age? So I said my variable have 3 categories. So the first category to create it is just to go on value section and click on this in the cells concerning the variables. The first value is 1 and the label is less or equal to 20. Then I click on add. So the second category is label between 20 to 40. Then I click on add. So the last category, the third, is label more than 40-year-olds. Click on add. So I click on OK. You can see that all my categories have been created. So if I once more go and analyze descriptive statistic frequency and analyze my variable age categories, you can see that my variable has been labeled as I did it. And also, for example, recodify a categorical variable which have 3 categories into a categorical variable which I only have, for example, 2 categories according to the purpose of your story using logic in SPSS. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope very well help you understand how to generate and recodify variable in SPSS.